Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto, the podcast about catching up and first impressions of the anime Boruto. Better late than never, that's our ninja way. Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto. My name's Johnny.
And I'm Trey.
What's up, guys? How is it going? For some reason, I have a lot of energy, but I don't know why. I don't deserve to have a lot of energy today.
See, I'm on the back end. I'm on the lower end of energy, on the lower energy spectrum today.
Yeah.
I gotta pull it all out.
Yeah, but I realized last time that we actually didn't even wear a headbands. It was the first time we didn't wear our headbands because I bought them right before the first episode, gave you yours on the first episode, and I totally forgot to bring them out.
Oh,
and so,
I didn't even recognize that.
Yeah, when I went back and watched, I was like, something's wrong. This looks. Oh no! Dang it.
It did not even register to me until you just said that.
Yeah, I was a little upset about it just because I forgot. But yeah. So, anyways, today we're gonna be going over episode 11. This is actually a good episode. A lot of things happen that we've been wanting to happen, and we get a little bit more answers.
Finally got a little bit of a build going up.
Yeah.
You know? Hopefully it kind of like keeps going that direction. You know, we've had a couple times where it's like, oh, we're getting an excitement spot. It's like building. Also, it's just like, oh, that was something.
Yeah. I do think this is the start of the build because they opened up a lot this round. Well, this episode. So, anyways, let's go ahead and just get started.
Boruto Uzumaki has arrived on the scene, you know?
Yeah. All right. So it starts off with people at the water plant. Because remember, last episode, it kind of ended with Boruto and the others seeing that their classmates at the water plant had just basically been like in an attack. And we kind of ended with like Sumire like kind of floating on the water. Like, dang it.
It's like, what happened? Like they're they're spending their whole day trying to find this ghost throughout town while delivering their mail, and then all of a sudden they look at the news like, oh, there's been a massive attack, and realizing that their friends are over there at the plant, and it's like, uh-oh, where are we gonna go from there?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it starts off with the people at the water plant being in the hospital. So that group of people. So we got Sumire's in there. The people that were with her are in the hospital, and apparently they're kind of like thanking Sumire. But apparently she like helped them, or she slowed them down until Naruto came to save the day since he was nearby. And then Denki, Metal, and Shino, since they talk about how they felt, so they're all kind of talking like, we're glad you're okay.
It's like they're kind of doing like a in-show recap for all of us in a way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they're kind of like going through everything like, oh yeah, we've all been possessed by this shadow thing, and here's our experience, kind of like bringing those back, because it's been a little while since we're on episode 11 now, and it feels like it's been so long since watching those like initial episodes with like, I almost, until they brought it up, I almost forgot that Denki and Metal had been possessed by it for a bit.
I know, yeah. And yeah, you kind of wondered like, they're not talking to each other. They're not letting, the people know who need to know. And so yeah, it's kind of been frustrating for us on this side because it's been like, why don't you just tell them? So we actually get
I think it's been like 4 or 5 episodes since we've even seen Denki or Metal.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Denki, but yeah. So anyway, we get them, and they're actually all talking about what it felt like when they're possessed, and they're talking about how kind of overtook them with like rage, and they couldn't like control their emotions during it. And then of course Boruto just barges into the room to check on Sumire. And he apologizes because he didn't save them. And they're kind of wondering, like, it's not your fault.
Why do you think you would be the one to save us? Like, come on. And of course, he's probably thinking, like, oh, I'm the one that has the eye. I'm the one that can see everything, and I failed. But again, he hasn't told.
He's the savior of the world.
Oh, of course. Just like his dad. Everything's about him.
But in that dream, like, he had, like, it's his responsibility. So even though they don't know that, but, so he's kind of saying, like, I have this power, and I didn't even get to use it, so it's my fault. But then he does actually talk to the others and basically say that because he like acted carelessly when they're delivering mail, when he was missing boxes and they got put in that duty of like, you have to organize the stamps, and then this happened. So he was basically thinking like, if he would have just done the job right, they would have still been on their mail like route, and he could have stopped this.
He might have had a chance.
Yeah. So if anything, is a good lesson for Boruto to like, don't rush through things. But so he's actually taken some responsibility, which is much earlier than we ever saw Naruto like change. We're on episode 11, so this is actually this is pretty good.
Naruto barely changed until like Shippuden, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's true. But and then he said I kind of thought it was weird because I thought we went from Ghost to Shadow, or maybe it was from Shadow to Ghost. I don't know. But he said he could have possibly seen the ghost right there, and I was like, I can't keep track like which one they're doing.
I feel like we moved to Shadow to Ghost last.
I think you're right. It was like right at the beginning, and they're talking about like the name. But anyways, you want to take the next few?
Sure. All right. So it kind of pops up, and I think we're talking about Boruto. Who's asking Naruto if he's hunting the ghost, and he wants to be filled in, and he's trying to get all this information from his dad and get it like he wants to know everything that's going on. But Naruto kind of just gets mad at him immediately, kind of pulls his ear, which is kind of the most fatherly thing or punishment thing we've seen Naruto do since everything has even happened. So he kind of drags him away from everybody. He's like going to give him like a stern talking to, and he's just kind of like saying that everyone that's there everyone in that hospital was hurt by what just happened. So what I think he's kind of saying, like, one, don't be trying to like talk about this and have me talking in front of them, because if I give you all that information, then you're just going to rile them up. They're already full of fear, and now they're going to get a little bit worse off. So one, chill out there. And two, that it's like, Boruto, you're just a kid. Like, this isn't your job to take care of. He's the Hokage. It's his job to protect. I think he's talked about the whole village is his family before. Like, that's kind of where he's coming from. And he says it's just pure luck that Boruto was safe, and that he feels like if he had been there, he probably would have gotten hurt and been damaged and in trouble as well. So he's like, there's nothing in Naruto's eye. There's nothing Boruto could have done. Granted, Boruto is the one that's like stopped at least 5 of these attacks or 6 of them at this point. Like, he's the only one that actually has handled it so far. So it's like, maybe he actually could have done something. But I mean, I think in this one we haven't seen who was actually possessed by the shadow or by the ghost in this one.
Yeah, we didn't see this one. It was just like they were hurt, and then Naruto
didn't show us at any point. So yeah, it's like we have no idea who was actually involved in that one.
Do we really need to see like Naruto stop like a low level, maybe not even a shinobi being possessed? It's like,
probably not.
He just
done.
Yep.
But so then he kind of like goes into a little bit, like it kind of like tails off into this whole bit that we've kind of seen between the two villages from Naruto and from Boruto, where it's like, Naruto tells them, like, you don't even know what the horrors of war are like, or the horrors of battle can be. And because, like, it's not like it was when Naruto was growing up. They're not at war. They're not dealing with all this stuff throughout the Land of Fire, going on missions. Like, if they go on a mission, if anyone goes on a mission at all, it's like, it's hardly anything. It's maybe an escort. And rarely do they have anything. So that's why the academy has changed so much. So you have no idea what it's like. And, once he graduates from the academy, maybe they can talk a little bit more about the actual responsibilities of the village and what he can do and where he can grow up in that. But Shino kind of jumps in there and sticks up for him because, well, one, Baruto's the one that took care of Shino and saved him in that moment. So he's kind of realizing that Shino's realizing that Baruto's got some potential. He's definitely taking place of what's his name?
Starts with a K.
The
other sensei from
Naruto. Like Naruto's.
When he's actually the principal now.
Yes.
I forget.
Dang it, me too. All right. Well, we'll come back to that one eventually.
There we go. We lost one. We lost the name.
Another name. All right. But he's kind of like taking that position where he's the one, like the only person who's really not really the only person, but he's that main one who's an adult who's actually sees the potential in Boruto. Same way that Sensei or Naruto Sensei did for him, like actually saw something in him, and so he kind of gets up there, stands up for him, and says that I missed it, and then sticks up for him and says it was just like the workplace experience, like it wasn't his fault, he didn't do anything wrong, he was where he was supposed to be and doing what he was supposed to be doing, and there was even if he had been involved, he would have been there from doing his job kind of situation. So it's like, he's all right. All right. And he kind of just sits there and, talks about, they are growing up, they are getting a little mature, and brings up the idea, like, if a child is treated as an adult, they can be useful. Like,
Right.
it's like, okay, yeah, you got to have some limitations with the kids. Make sure you're not throwing them in the fire and, putting them in danger. But, also, you can't treat them like a little tiny baby till they turn 18 and then to expect them to handle the real world. You got to give them a little responsibility as time goes on. And he's kind of taking that spot, like, give him a little leash, see what he can do, and let him grow a little bit. So
Yeah.
he's got some support there, which I like.
Yep. And then Naruto poofs away because it was just a shadow clone the whole time.
How do you think that messed you? It's like, Dad, you were there in my life, but you were never there.
Yeah.
He's got he'd have an
It's
actual argument.
Yeah. So
It's just a copy.
and then Boruto and the others are actually able to deliver mail again. They go back to the workplace experience for the day, and they thought, they're going to be stuck doing dumb jobs again. But they're actually able to do the mail again because the mailman, I forgot his name now. This one I don't really care about.
That's so bad on
the
that one.
mailman that they've been
See,
working
what would
with.
have been really bad is if we remembered his name and then
Yeah.
not the other ones.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Oof. But so he like stuck up for them or like fixed all their routes or something, and so they're actually able to deliver mail again. And then so then they start thinking about how they can use Baruto's eye to detect the ghost. And so they're like trying to come up with a good strategy. You got Shikadai there, so they're trying a good strategy because that's his thing. And so they start talking about, Baruto's like, I can use my shadow clones, to disperse them all over the city, and then when we see them, we'll be good to go. Well, he tries it, and then his clones end up informing him that that they can't even get out of range of sight yet.
Ooh.
Like his,
Doesn't got the strength yet.
Right, yeah. His chakra is not there with the shadow clones yet because so at that point it's like, oh, well then it's useless. If I can see you, then it doesn't matter. So they poof.
Maybe get a little more range, but not much.
Yeah. But yeah,
He's definitely not on par with his dad yet. He can just be going miles
no.
and miles away. And
he actually said if only I could use shadow clones like my dad. I mean, like, you got to think about it, like, they're all over the village. If not, we don't even know like where they are.
At this point, do we even know if Baruto's actually met his father in person?
That's true. You never know.
I'm kind of sitting there, I'm like, there was probably a shadow clone at his birth.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like when we like first saw Naruto and like saw this shadow clone thing and like, he just uses them and people beat them up real quick and then the real one comes and it's like, oh, that's like how he uses them. I never thought he would use them like this, like going to different events and all that. It's just a shadow clone. And he's kind of really crazy with them now.
I mean, in a way, it kind of makes sense if you got like so many different events that you got to go to. But you think if he's able to do that, he would be so much more organized than he is. But still, no.
He still isn't. Yeah.
Which makes you just think,
Can't do the
imagine if
paperwork.
he was trying to do everything with just by himself and nothing else. I mean, it'd be 100 times worse.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so then I think they were trying to tell us that because it's like, oh, well, he can use shadow clones. And so they didn't talk about that. We, as the viewers, would be like, he could just use shadow clones and be all over the city. Problem solved. Well, he's not strong enough to be able to do that. But then it kind of starts going to, they're talking about like splitting everything up, but we haven't got like the perfect strategy yet. Then it goes to Sumire and the other girls that got in the incident, and they're actually getting picked up by their parents, and I guess Sumire is still hurt a little bit more since it sounds like she took like a heavier blow than the other ones did.
It's interesting. It's like, so she's the one that kind of like jumped in there and took on the situation, but we haven't really seen her like in the actual show as anything more than just a really shy person who is jumping into a situation to try to lead the class, but you don't really see much else from her. So I'm kind of curious, like, is she one of the pretty tough, or talented ninjas, just kind of nervous about it, and a little bit like Hinata was. I know she kind of like takes that vibe of it because she kind of has that little awkwardness with Boruto, and kind of similar to Hinata. But like,
yeah, I feel like that's the case because if she was able to like save her friends, she's probably more skilled than her friends.
Must be.
But yeah. So anyways, But the other girls are getting picked up by their parents. We kind of get the scene of her looking out the window of like seeing families, and usually we only get that in this show when like someone's like missing their family, like.
I think her parents would be there with her. But.
So that's where I'm like, oh, does she not have parents, or her parents not there that much? Like, do they have like some kind of job? But that's really, they don't really give anything, but they spent like 10 seconds on that scene. They don't just do that for no reason.
Foreshadowing.
Like her looking sad, looking out the window. Where's my dad? But anyways,
I could go somewhere. I'm interested. I didn't pick up on that.
It could be kind of like a Sasuke thing too. Like you can think back in like Naruto, like Sasuke and Naruto. Whenever they had those moments where they're looking at families, they like capture that moment because it was like they don't have one, so they're kind of looking with like, I wish I had it. And we don't really have anyone in the show right now who doesn't have parents, right?
No, they're pretty all solid.
Yeah, so that would make sense to have like somebody in the show that kind of is like similar to back then. So maybe her parents got killed or something, or maybe they're just totally fine. But
they just don't care. She's in the
I was
hospital,
like, they did something. They're doing something with this.
I see that. Interested. Now you got me curious because I didn't even pick up or think about that afterwards. So now I'm definitely curious for the next episode or the next 2 episodes. I don't know how long it'll take anything or her future in general. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So now kind of fast forward a little bit, and Mitsuki shows up and reports there's been another incident. So now it's like, okay, something else going on throughout the Leaf Village. So it almost feels like maybe then this is escalating. I mean, we kind of knew that there were more incidents happening. They kind of talked about it. There have been 8 in the last week, but now it's like the last episode ended on an incident, and then all of a sudden, like pretty quickly into the first or to the next episode, now we're hearing about another one. So it seems like, okay, something's escalating a little bit, which kind of makes me think back to, what we were talking about earlier. Like you were talking about those little emblems that would show up, like it's like building up to something. Like, is it like almost like a countdown or counting up? I can't remember. Is it because it's like the little shadow. We haven't really seen that.
It's like a diamond. Yeah. With some kind of eye in the middle, but every time it shows us it gains like this new like outside triangle. And I
feel like they haven't shown us that scene in a couple of times.
It's been a while. Yeah. We do get the scene in this episode, which is fun to look at. But yeah, it's definitely like, so each time it started at like the top of the diamond, then it's been kind of going clockwise. And so I'm guessing when all the triangles are, filled up, something's going to happen. And it kind of seems like that. But anyways.
Yeah. So it's kind of like building up, and, Sai's looking he's the one investigating all the incidents and sees another of those little wood style plants, which kind of goes back to that little Hashirama cell. Yeah. So, like seeing out what's going on there, trying to figure it out. And so we're kind of still curious about like what's going on with that. How is that working? And Sai's kind of getting into it. He's like, he wants to figure out what's going on. Of course, he's still Sai, so he's a little awkward. Yeah. So, but Naruto kind of is involved, and he's trying to get him to take a break and wants him to take a step back, which is hilarious because when does Naruto ever take a break or take a step back? And it used to be he was kind of the one that was just pushing everybody to make everyone better and just keep moving, and everyone has to like tell him to like shut up for a minute and just chill out and think for a little bit. So he's growing. But like he doesn't want to hear it from him. So
yeah, and Sai actually tells Naruto that like I don't want to hear that from you, Mister. Like, don't even go home.
Like most hypocritical thing that he said the entire time.
Makes time for his ramen, but not his family.
Well, you gotta have priorities. Your stomach is so much more important than your children, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you can't be a good person without consumption. So.
True. I mean, they do say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So I mean, if you don't get fed, then you can't be a good father to your kids, right? I mean, come on.
Yep.
Anyway.
Makes sense.
All right. So Sai wants to help the individual causing these issues, and because basically, like, I think the reason Sai's like really pushing into this one is because he knows that Hashirama Cell had to do with the foundation, had to do like that elite group that he was involved with, and once they disarmed that or disbanded it, and he felt like he did a really good thing helping to get rid of that. But now all of a sudden there's something that's still there, and I think he kind of feels like he was a bit of that he's failed in some way because it's causing all these problems, and it's like he feels like he should have been able to do something, taking care of it, and he didn't fully dismantle it like he thought he did. And I think that's kind of that thing that's really eating at him. That's why he can't slow himself down.
Yeah. And he probably sees himself in this person causing these incidents because, I mean, Sai did a lot of bad stuff. And he, not only wanted to dismantle everything with the foundation, but he kind of sees like, well, if someone's still in it, like, I still see them as, like, being able to be saved. And I want to, like, I guess he, like, kind of wants to save them, kind of like he was. Show them that there's, more than just the foundation, but yeah. Anyways,
pretty much what they were is pretty much just brainwashed in there. So
yeah, it's almost like he didn't know, and it's like from a young age, and but anyways, but then Boruto's and the others show up late to this incident, and it looks like, and it says that it's the ghost. Actually, no, this is a different incident. This is the alleyway. There's one that happens in the alley, and they just kind of show up at the end of the alley like, dang it, we missed it again. So this is actually, in this episode, we're coming off of one. Then there's already a second one with Sai that he was looking to in, like, a park. Then this is the third one in the alleyway. So, yeah, things are definitely, like, escalating. Yeah, it's like, something's wanting to be done because it's probably because of the pressure of everybody, like, looking into it. Like, they're probably, whatever's going on is probably like, we need to do this now.
I feel like it's either you're on the track there, or it's like they've gone so far that they've gotten more power, and it's like, because it feels like the more easier power it gets, the more, because it is taking that chakra and absorbing it, right? Is what they're saying. They're being drained of their chakra. So it's like either they're kind of really pushed to the limits, or it's like as more happens, they get more powerful and they can handle more at a time. So
that's true.
I'm not really sure, but I feel like it's later on. Either way, it's moving faster. So whatever reason.
Yeah. But then anyway, they get up to the incident late again, and someone, I think it was Boruto, says like it's following us, or no, sorry, it's like it's avoiding us or watching them, and then Shikadai is actually like, actually, that makes sense because everywhere we've been recently, it hasn't been, or it's like, after they leave somewhere, then it happens. So it's Shikadai is actually like putting it all together. Like, I think someone is actually watching us, maybe because, Boruto can see everything going on, so he could possibly prevent. So maybe it's avoiding Boruto.
I'm not going to lie, at this moment, because although I like him, there was always that little suspicion for me of Mitsuki, where I'm like, is it somehow he's involved? Is he the one that's like...
He's a weird guy.
He is, but it's like one of those weird things where I'm super suspicious of him, but at the same time I really like him, so I'm like, please don't be.
Yeah. But, and there is like this whole connection with him and Boruto that Boruto doesn't know about. Mitsuki saying like, is he his son? And then we kind of talked about already like the whole like moon and sun representation in the show. And so it's like, it seems like they are connected, but is this what makes them connected? Is Boruto seeing all the bad stuff he's doing, or I don't think so, but
I kind of go like,
I feel like he's going to be in the show much longer.
I feel like he is too. It's just that because when he first came in, I had that weird suspicion of, because he's got a little bit too much of that Orochimaru like vibe going on. So I'm like, oh, he can't be good. There's got to be something that's going to be a twist somewhere. But
and he
so
needs
far,
a
nothing's
tan,
happened. Definitely.
I mean, it's like if you hold a sheet of paper up, that's the color they use for his character. Like it is like
basically when they were drawing, they just drew around that section.
It literally looks like that. It might have added a little bit gray in there, but yeah, he is but that's kind of like Orochimaru's vibe. But it's like because he's like jumping
he's always in those like
people's bodies and stuff, and
he's always like underground in some kind of base or something.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he doesn't get his sunlight. We know it.
Yeah. Anyways, so then Shikadai looks at the map. Once they get back, actually, I think we might have jumped the gun with the whole shadow clones thing. Oh no, we didn't. Sorry. But they're back at the postal office, looking at the map again for the second time this episode, and Shikadai is looking at the map and says, "It does look like we are being watched. Like our routes, where we're going, like the thing goes to like where we're not. So all this stuff is happening knowing where our routes are. So Shikadai, with that theory, is kind of like looking at the map and like, this is actually looking like, yeah, this is true.
Which makes sense because I mean, if it's like a smart individual behind it or any kind of smart like thing, whatever it could be, like it's probably realized at this point that these are the ones that have hindered me the most. So like, if I don't got the strength to take them out right now,
kids looking into them. Yeah.
Exactly. So if I don't got the strength to take them out now, then I might as well avoid them and kind of get going. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm actually remembering last episode, I think it was like Boruto showed up at the water place, delivered the mail, gotta go, left, and then it happened. So it was like, yeah. Anyway, so then, yeah, this is where we get Boruto saying, like, if he could only make shadow clones like his dad, aka, like, if he had enough power to spread his clones all over the city, but he doesn't. And then the other classmates, so this is where it gets like, I'm like, finally, they're using strategy. So all the other classmates start showing up to actually help with the search. So it's not just 3 people against this monster in the city, but they're actually going to get the rest of their classmates. They've already finished all the workplace experience stuff. They've written their papers. Boruto and the others have not because they've been so busy trying to find this thing.
Of course
they're actually not doing their work. But anyway, so then it's like, wow, okay, we're going to get like a ton of people looking. And so then, sorry about this. Yeah. So then they're going to say like, well, how do we like signal each other? And Shikadai is like, Iwabe, did you get what I told you to get? And of course, Iwabe being like the rebel of the class, has a bag of fireworks. So then,
hey, there's a reason he went to the fireworks factory.
That is, oh, you're right. Yeah, that's how we got them. Okay, I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess they're also really wanting Boruto to get there because of his eye and like being able to help. Because if you just see like smoke coming up, it's like you don't know who's causing it yet. Get Boruto, he can like quickly identify it. But anyway, so they're making this like strategy that they're going to use the fireworks, and then the male chief. Oh, okay. So then all this is happening, and then they leave. Well, this thing has been watching like where they leave. Right when they leave, and they're going to go all over the city. The one place that they aren't going to go is the place they just left, the mailroom. And you have the male chief. He's kind of already like talking to himself. He's all mad, and then you just see this. We actually finally we see this ninja kind of show up, and then you see the male chief get bit, and then of course it's like, oh, what's gonna happen right where they left?
Here it comes.
Yeah, and then but then yeah, we finally see the ninja responsible. Like, I guess it kind of looks like a Foundation member. It has like they all had the weird mask. Well. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That was like that was the Ambu Black Ops had the weird mask, and then the Foundation was kind of just inside of it. But they're all kind of like wearing those like weird black robes.
Yeah.
So this one was kind of like a grayer robe.
Yeah, it was tattered, and you could tell the mask was kind of messed up. It's probably because what they were talking about earlier in the episode, like like a remaining Foundation member, they don't have all the money like they used to, and all that. So it's probably someone still operating,
just trying to hide themselves for the most part.
Yeah.
And if they are caught, they want to be like able to get away kind of situation, which we see them attempt to do.
Yeah. And it's like the bite little squiggly thing is actually coming from this guy's like arm too. So it's like it's like a jutsu.
Like must be going to them, and yet like
so it must be like doing some kind of jutsu thing from his arm. So all those times we've seen like they've kind of like not showed us where it's coming from. This ninja has probably been right on the the side of that. But, they couldn't widen the frame for us. We would have known from episode 1. Jeez.
Come on.
But anyways, but then all the Boruto and all the others show up right after the male chief gets bit.
Shikadai knew exactly what was going to happen.
And basically, so Shikadai and Boruto, they basically say, like, we knew that if we were being watched, and we're going to send everybody all over the city, so there'd be no safe place, this would be the only place that could be attacked safely. So that was actually an amazing strategy, and I was finally, they're like thinking outside the box to get this thing. Like, I didn't even think about that. I was
No.
just thinking like, oh crap, this thing is so smart that's following. Well, it's ninja. It's so smart that's following them. But yeah, they showed up, and now we got the whole class versus ninja. Which I was almost like, could they sell some fireworks to like let like the adults know?
But no.
Yeah,
That's
no.
not- They, of course, got to be able to handle it on their own. Which
Yeah.
then you got to think about, like, you know, it's got to be probably a pretty highly skilled ninja. It's like, we all know Kakashi Sensei would have wiped the floor
Oh,
with
yeah.
all of them. So I'm kind of like sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of about to probably be in the same boat.
Yeah.
But they actually kind of put up a halfway decent fight.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm thinking with like this ninja, why they're doing all this, because it's like, yeah, Naruto, Sasuke, you know, all the powerhouses. There's not going to be a random person doing this in the dark that they can't beat up. Like, so this person's probably like gaining this chakra to do something, but they have to do it like this because they're probably not as skilled as like Naruto and all them. I mean, if you think like first episode they introduce a ninja that's stronger than Naruto, we would all be mad.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that'd be stupid. So it seems like, you know, something's gaining all this chakra that it's almost like, well, if it stores so much chakra, would it match Naruto's chakra with the Nine Tails?
Could be.
So I don't know.
I mean, you have to store a lot of chakra for that. I don't know.
Exactly,
I don't know
but
if
it's
anything can
like,
hold that.
if it's all over the town and all these, you know, shinobi, high class shinobi.
So I'm like, think about it. I'm like, it's got to be a lot though. Like how many human levels of chakra do you think it takes to fill what Naruto holds?
Yeah, I have
and
no
the tailed
idea.
beast.
I have no idea. But anyways,
Yeah.
it's the second paragraph. Yeah.
There you go. So at this point, you know, the ninja tries to escape, but the others ambush him, and we got that big epic fight that begins right in the big man room. So
Yep.
you know he's gonna be really happy when he comes to, and all his mail is completely disorganized.
Oh yeah. And it kind of looked like the paper. So I forgot her name, but it was
that
one of the
girl. Hidden Miss, or
yeah, it was a hit and miss. But in the Akatsuki, one of the, like the three founding people, the girl of it, she used like the paper jutsu, and it looked like the paper
they're all
jutsu,
kinda,
but
like,
he's just
flying
using
around.
it with the mail.
Yeah.
So I guess it was like, dude, if you can do
Pretty
paper
similar.
jutsu, you shouldn't be doing this. You know? But anyways,
yeah, it's a little bit different. So, anyway, Mr. Teori, he saves the package. I'm trying to think, what was the package?
oh, that is his name. I did write his name down. This is
Was
the male guy.
Okay, yeah,
That's been with Boruto and them. But they never tell us the male chief's name.
that's right. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. That was probably him. Saves the package and reaches the male chief. So he's like trying to get to the chief, trying to like get through. He's still kind of rampaging at this point, right?
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a package on the ground, and he saw it get cut. And every package is like
Oh. It's like
important to him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is so corny. But I mean, you know, he likes his job.
He does like his job.
That's a good thing, you know. You know, if you really like your job, it's not work, right?
I guess so.
We'll see. But he finally reaches the male chief. But Baruto and Iobe end the battle. And so they kind of like finally get to him, or kind of stop him, get him back to his senses, and so he's not going quite as crazy. And but we kind of see the chakra leave the male chief, and it's goes right to that huge shadow at the stairs, and it kind of just starts coming at Baruto. Right?
The thing was huge too. It's
massive.
getting massive.
It's still got like a little shape, like it's kind of got that little face in there, but like still kind of a little, not fully detailed. At least I don't think. I hope that's not as much detail as we get of it.
Yeah, it'd be poor animation.
Yeah. That'd be kind of weird. Like that's what they fight the rest of the time. It's just like, all right.
That'd be stupid.
Oh man. Sorry, I got mixed up. Where are we? All right. All right. So he tries throwing the paper bombs. I always thought those were interesting, paper bombs. Like, how does that work? I don't even know. Anyway, completely random tangent that has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Maybe it is there, but you know, well, I guess it is there because Baruto can see it. So maybe it's just invisible, but it's like can be hurt.
Must be.
I don't know.
Does it show us that anyone else can see it? I
No.
don't think so.
No.
So it's like no one else.
I mean, to everybody else, it's just a sky rampage, and then you got drained. That's it. But
So-
Boruto's seeing it all.
It's so weird, like kind of thinking about like how everything else is going on and like what other people would be seeing from their perspective. Like you would assume that like the ninja that was kind of causing it, like they could probably see it, like and they're kind of like controlling
Yeah,
it.
I'm guessing they could see it. Yeah.
Or is it like they control exactly what it does, or are they just like letting it loose and let it go on its own rampage? Like I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah. At the end, I think I have a theory for what happens at the very, very end of this episode. But anyways, yeah.
All right. So anyway, Boruto tries to throw the paper bomb. Kind of gives kind of reacts to it, but it's not like it hurts it or anything.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of
just
like
kinda goes
It's
away.
like it's almost like, yeah, okay, I saw that. Whatever.
Yep.
But so at this point, the ninja gets away from Metal. But Mitsuki tries to ambush the ninja, but then all of a sudden, he just kind of lets it go.
He just stares at it,
Yeah.
and he's like right up with this ninja. They kind of meet eye to eye. The ninja's like, "Oh crap," but he's like, "This guy's not doing anything. I'm just gonna back
Move
away into
away."
the shadows." And Mitsuki just kind of has that blank smile, smirk. He just lets him go.
See, goes back to that bit. Like, am I trusting him? I don't think he's the one doing it anymore. But is he involved, or does he have some other kind of agenda against the Leaf? I mean, because he is a transfer student from somewhere else, right? Was it Hidden Sound?
Which is
Or Chimera. So I'm like, maybe there's something going on here, which makes me mad because I want to like Mitsuki, but then at the same time, I gotta kind of guy just like him there. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here.
And the weird thing was too, they showed us that, and then Mitsuki went back and said, like, yeah, he escaped from me. He let him go, so he just lied to them. So now I'm kind of thinking, like, is he like up to something else? Or maybe like whatever he's up to, this guy, this ninja, is just helping his cause or something. Like, if he wants to like bring down the Leaf Village, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Like,
I'm not
like
gonna stop
we're
you.
not together, but
The enemy
you
of my
know,
enemy
you
is
do
my
your-
friend, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's kind of why I didn't know if I got from that. But then it's almost like, how strong is Mitsuki? If like, I don't know. But anyways, so then Shikadai says, so they kind of regroup and they're like, hey, good job, but we let him go. That sucks, and this will probably never happen again because you can't make this plan up twice. But then Shikadai says that the ninja that actually they were just fighting could actually be really close to them since it's monitoring them. And they all kind of like take like a deep breath in that, like, oh shoot, it might be like someone we already know, or someone that's really close to us, and that's how it knows where they are. It's not like a random person looking from the shadows, but it's like someone they know. And so that's where it's kind of like they all kind of take a deep breath of like, oh geez, that sucks.
It's like, I mean, in that little last battle, like the entire class was there, like getting ready to fight and getting ready to battle. So like, is it like a sensei or just someone else? Because like, I mean,
Oh, you're right. So it's not any of them because we saw them fighting that ninja.
so
So
it can't
they're
be
all
those
safe.
ones.
Yeah, it's maybe we'll give a prediction at the end or something.
Well, I got a thought process brewing.
Go ahead.
Well, like we pretty much saw besides like the classmates that are like they're characters, but they're not characters.
Yeah.
Because like they're there, but they're not actually involved in it. So the only one that wasn't there was the class rep, who was but she was in the hospital.
Yeah. And I guess the other
So-
people that got hurt with her,
Yes.
the two other girls, because they weren't there.
Those are kind of like the ones I was like talking about, like
Yeah, they're,
classmates
like,
that aren't
outside.
really classmates. Like they're there, but they're not there. So I'm like,
Yeah. They did give her like an extra second of that staring out the glass window. Like, I don't have that.
I don't know. I think I'm just reading too much into a situation. I don't know, but I'm curious. Like, because it's like, it feels like if that's like the way that they're going to go, like it could be someone that's close to us. I feel like it's either got to be a classmate or it's got to be a sensei or something.
Yeah.
But all the senseis that we know are like ones that were out in Naruto. They can't turn one of those into a bad character,
turn
right?
bad now.
They can't.
Was this person tall? That's kind of, I don't even remember that now.
Well, that's the only thing that kind of like brings me back to the whole, like it could be, or it must be Mitsuki a situation, like, or at least he's the spy giving the information.
Oh.
So like that's the only other, those are the only other ones I could think.
That could be true. Because I was about to say, like, we know it's not Mitsuki because they're face to face. They let us know that. But that would be true with like
could be partners.
Yeah, he's just, filling the information. And he's been talking to somebody with the little white snake, He's been giving information. It doesn't seem like he's been giving this kind of information. But
I mean,
maybe
we never know what they talk about.
Maybe all this is just to test Boruto with something that we don't even know about yet. Because he is like very invested in Boruto. And so maybe they're like trying to bring something out in him. And he does look like the guy from the moon, like still. So maybe it's something that they're doing, trying to help Boruto grow up, or I don't know. That's probably going way too far out. I'm sure this is just a nefarious thing.
Now we're just letting our brains go.
Yeah. Why the heck did Mitsuki let him escape? Anyways. But then after they kind of say, like, yeah, it's someone probably close to us monitoring us, Boruto kind of leads the group and says, all right, guys, it's all time to clean up. And then they're like, we have to do it too, like all the other classmates. And he kind of leads them and says, like, yep, we all got to clean up.
Y'all destroyed it. Y'all got to help. But now at least he's got a little bit more respect for the male.
Yeah, that's true. And he's actually like growing up kind of quick. Like we're seeing like all these little faults that mirror Naruto's upbringing, but he's getting them solved like pretty quickly. He's learning the lessons much faster than Naruto did.
I mean, I kind of think part of me goes like, is that they just want to like show him as being like better, like overall. But on the other hand, I think it's kind of like, maybe they kind of want to take the storyline of exactly what happens further, like in his development, just because, like, you can't really have the exact same process. Otherwise, it just becomes the exact same story. Yeah. So
the new villain is always stronger, all that kind of stuff. Dragon Ball Z tangents. But I think, too, like, it'd be cool to have Boruto progress more because Naruto's there. Like, I think that would be kind of cool to see. But, I mean, we kind of saw a little bit of Naruto trying. And he did say when you're outside of, or when you get out of the academy, like you've actually, you've learned what you need to learn, maybe then I'll bring you in on some things. So we might actually end up seeing that. Like maybe he's just letting a kid be a kid instead of like making him grow up too quick.
Yeah.
But anyways,
like how much longer do they have in the academy? Like he just started. It was his first day. So like, he's in his first year.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like it was on Naruto. That was forever long. I felt like a whole season or
I mean, they were trying to graduate just like the first level, like that very first episode where they had to make not even the shadow clones, just the regular clones.
Just a regular clone. Huh? Yeah, you're right. But anyway, so then we get to like a really cool moment. It's almost like the after credits Marvel scene where you like get like a bigger picture, something you've been waiting for, and so then. We actually see that diamond symbol come up again, and then one of the it burns one of the little triangle marks, and it looks like if you looked at it, there's not too many left. I think if you looked at the spacing, there's either 2 or 3 left, and I don't think it means people because there's been a lot, but must be like we got the level, and when you get someone like Shino, you probably get like a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so. There's another one that shows up, and it's like we're almost there. Basically, that's what they're trying to tell us. Like, remember episode 1 when we only had like 2? Yeah, we only have like 2 left now. So it's definitely getting like it's not much longer till something. This show's gonna like start spiraling with this big boss or something.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, another fire triangle shows up on the weird sign, and then we kind of get. This commentary with a guy, so thinking it's a guy, but I don't know. That's kind of what we don't know yet. Then we get this commentary, and you kind of start seeing this beast, and it looks like from before, like the face of the shadow we've been seeing. So it looks like we're actually getting to see like non-shadowy colors. It has like a lot of weird, like brown for the face and like almost like a tiger middle. It looks kind of weird.
Either way, it looks terrifying.
Yeah, but then we get this commentary. The negative energy that has been drained opens the door created by the Hashirama cell and becomes the nourishment that will awaken New.
Yeah.
New?
New way?
I think the E has to do something in there, but
Probably.
so anyway, so I get a lot from this little sentence. The negative energy that has been drained. So apparently it's not just draining, just like it's not after someone's chakra. It's after someone's like negative chakra, like negative energy. Maybe
Like
that's
anger,
why it's like,
frustration.
maybe that's why it's purple.
Maybe.
So like it wants that negative energy, and then it opens the door created by the Hashirama cell. Well, I'm thinking like door, and like maybe that's like this like sign that's been going. So maybe it
Well,
was like
think
a
about
curse mark for like Naruto's belly, you know?
Well,
like,
think about it like
that's a door.
Hashirama cell uses the wood style, right? So
Yeah.
it creates that little plant. The only thing that could control Naruto when he began to have that tail beast chakra come out of him was that little cage that
Oh.
Captain Yamato
Yep.
created. So maybe it's like that Hashirama cell is doing something,
It's used for like, this
sealing
like,
or something.
I would definitely say sealing at least, like, or just like containing like this tailed beast, like kind of energy. And that's kind of where I'm kind of, when you see this huge thing, it's kind of like maybe this is, and this is the next point, like, what after he says that little phrase, well, in the nourishment that will awaken New. So it's kind of, this is a like being or, something that we just saw. It's definitely not this little ninja, it's like something else.
It's something outside of it that this person is trying to control or apparently trying to awaken.
Yeah. And then this voice says, it's time for our dearest wish to come true. And so it is saying like it's about to happen right now.
That kind of gives you like that idea that it's like, it's not just a person. It's like, it seems like there's something like maybe a little group
It has
together.
like some kind of tail too. So I'm thinking like, we have the 9-tailed beast and that's it. But are they trying to introduce like a new tailed beast? And it's like an evil to its core tailed beast. Because that's what it has, like this negative chakra.
Could be.
Because I mean, the other tailed beasts aren't necessarily evil. Like, we have Kurama that's in Naruto. He's like chill now with Naruto. He's not.
He was evil though.
Because he was just mad at people for doing what they do to him and like controlling them with, the Sharingan and all that.
Yep.
But he turned okay. But is this like some like maybe we get like 9 evil tailed beast? This is tailed beast 1.
That could be interesting.
That would be the only like, and then it ends at 9 to
Then you
match
pull them all
Naruto.
out and you get a 10. Oh man,
a negative 10.
Negative 10.
I hope not. I mean, I can see where like, how do you match Naruto? How do you give him a challenge? It has to be a tailed beast. I mean, what else are you gonna like give the bad
stronger,
guy to fight Naruto? Like what matches him?
We'll have to figure out whatever that is at that last episode or that very first episode. Whatever that guy does, like he does something.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't know what. Unless there's some way, like I don't know. I got nothing on that one. I'm still.
We still have that bad guy yet from the first episode. Maybe
Yeah.
this masked guy is this bad guy.
Could be.
We never know.
Well, I mean, like we looked at Boruto. Boruto clearly was much older in that first
Oh, yeah.
episode. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be something. I don't know.
He'd probably be the same age as Boruto is now. I'm guessing. If it's like a good rivalry thing, they're probably the same age.
True.
But anyways, I don't know. But now we kind of see like, so all this energy is being used to awaken this beast, and maybe like it's been like caged, and they're trying to undo the cage, which could
Which
be
is
this
basically
sign,
what they
this
did
seal.
when they were draining the tailed beast energy, and then to open up that 10-tailed one.
Yeah.
Or to combine them all together to create the 10 tails, because that's what it was, right? It was one
Yeah.
10-tailed beast, and they
And
separated into 9
9.
separates because it was too powerful.
So they're basically getting all that 9 back. And he's getting like a lot of negative energy from people But I'm thinking the whole door thing is this. I think it's a seal that we've been seeing, and the seal's about to get opened, I guess.
I think so. I could see that.
I think that's where they're going with it. But anyways, so, and it's going to open this thing. Now, is someone going to try to make themselves a Jinchuriki of this evil thing?
Could be.
I don't know what's going on with all that. Like, there's a lot of rabbit trails, but yeah. Well,
I'm definitely curious for the next episode, that's for sure.
yeah. You gave us a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Which is good, because there's been some end of the episodes where it's like, Boruto, just tell them about your eye. Come on, man. But anyways, guys, that was this was episode 11. Sorry, episode 11. Thanks for being here. Always remember that you can go to our website, not a clique, but a group of people. And then our podcast is a tab in there, CUWB, Catching Up with Boruto. You can catch us on Instagram, not Facebook. Ugh. If I don't have to do it, I will not do it.
Stay away for now.
Yeah. I almost said it again. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the different kind of platforms for podcasts. We're on basically all of them. We distribute this podcast to like 12 places. So yeah, feel free to listen to all those. Subscribe when you can. That really helps us out, especially being a smaller podcast.
What are you talking about? We're huge.
Yeah, we're huge. I can't do it.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, but yeah, and then also if you're on Apple Podcast, feel free to give us a 5-star review and put in a little comment or something right there, and we'll shout you out in the middle of the show because that really helps the analytics with Apple Podcasts, and that just helps us out. But anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got. You got any last words, Trey?
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. All right, guys. Well, as you know, better late than never. That's our ninja way. See you guys.
Bye.